Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum versus Smackdown, our first edition. And this is the go home show overall for Survivor Series, which is this Sunday. I'm happy to be watching and reviewing Smackdown. It is clearly the better show than Raw. Though I think this show, unlike NXT, where it was a great first NXT for me to jump in because you had just that unbelievable women's match. You didn't really have a great match here. I would say Murphy against Seth Rollins came the closest, but this show, the SmackDown show, which overall has been great because you have the best angles going, including the best angle in all of wrestling, which is Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns doing his thing is the best thing they've got going. But this Survivor Series stinks on ice. It is terrible. And so because this show is dedicated so much to building up these matches that really, is there anybody who thinks that Sami Zayn against Bobby Lashley is going to be this unbelievably great match? You have basically two heels going at it, so you doing big man, little man will feel very strange. You got Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods against the Street Profits, which they've done their level best to hype as if it's going to be something, but it feels like a match of no consequence. And the match that is likely to be the best one is Asuka against Sasha Banks by far. And even that match, I don't know, man. Well, let's just jump into it. So we open SmackDown. And we're going to also have the final farewell for The Undertaker. So they're doing their level best to make sure as many people are watching this as possible. Though you got to kind of wonder why. And again, I do all my pontificating on the front end because that's what most people listen to. And I got to say, AEW did such a phenomenal job with the go home to Full Gear. And then they reaped the full benefits rating-wise from a great pay-per-view. And then they just did a bunch of build-up angle stuff, which is exactly what you want to do. You want to start the ball rolling, right? Here, this go-home, man, they're doing everything they can to get the numbers that they can, but then you wonder, but then there really isn't a pay-per-view, right? It's not like anybody's going to buy Survivor Series for the most part. So I just find it really interesting. Really strange. So we open up with the thunder and lightning strikes. The Street Profits are really excited. The rest in, but Big E appears, not the Undertaker. He's got a sombrero instead of the Taker hat, and then there's back and forth about how great New Day are, and then the Street Profits hype themselves, and that's it. And we're in the Thunderdome, and then Kofi and Xavier are heading to the ring. Now this shouldn't be a big deal, right? But didn't they have a big goodbye with Big E, and now they're back together, or at least they're in the same building, though they don't really interact. Just really strange. Really strange. So they're paying tribute to The Undertaker. And Sami Zayn says he's tired of hearing about The Undertaker. Man, it is just such a terrible thing for them to have to build to the Survivor Series and people trying to get heel heat off of The Undertaker thing, which feels like it should be separate because it's so significant. But it is what it is. Right. Sammy's going to prove that the IC champion is better than the US champion. Okay. And then how can you make this thing that's already lagging shittier? Out comes King Corbin. This reminds me of like how NXT, I would say for the last hour to hour and a half was this phenomenal show, but they opened so weak that I just feel like they're just killing themselves. And I think the ratings came out for that NXT and reflected that. People did not watch that show. And I don't think they're doing themselves any favors on this SmackDown. Just a bunch of shit happens and a bunch of people talk. And now it's Street Profits and the New Day against Sami Zayn, Corbin, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler, so they can have faces versus heels. They go to commercial in the middle of it, and again, it's something else I hate about WWE programming, where they have have the first match and they always go to commercial. It's just so hard to feel like the shows are building momentum. Sammy gets pinned, and so it goes. What? Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre are going to have a contract signing. Oh, boy. And Murphy versus Seth Rollins. And Aliyah Mysterio is going to be in Murphy's corner. Okay. We start showing clips of Jey Uso destroying Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's talking to Kayla. Sami Zayn walks by, yelling about the match he just lost. And then he starts ranting at Daniel Bryan about respect. God, this is so... Fuck SmackDown. Bryan shoves Sammy. Sammy gets up, walks off. Bryan makes a comment about social distancing. We go back to commercial. God, so bad, man. So terrible. And back from the break, and Daniel Bryan is with Kayla still. She compliments him on his new hairstyle. Okay. Brings up the attack from Jey Uso. Damn. It's just so bad. We got Adam Pearce back there. Yay. Always loved that. We can't see who he's talking to yet, but he's talking about picking the final member of Team Smackdown for the men's team. And then we see he's talking to Otis. Oh, God. He's got Chad Gable with him. Oh, God, twice. So I guess Otis is going to... Oh, it's so bad. Pierce is talking to Natalya now. And Natalya's going, why do I have to face Tamina? Why can't you just put me on the team? And then Pierce says something weird, like, we already put Bayley on the team, and so you have to wrestle to get on the team? And Natalya's not happy, but that match is next, I guess. The fuck? This first 30 to 45 minutes, boy, is not the best way to be introduced to SmackDown, which has been doing great stuff. We got Seth Rollins in the back. He's running down Murphy. And he builds up that match, which is great, which is what they should do, right? Now we got Natalya versus Snuka. I'll spare you. Natalya wins. Great. She's on the team. Oh, crap. But out comes Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott, and Bayley enters the ring and then hugs her. Taunts Belair. Okay. We get a video package for Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. It looks good. And they look really good in the contract side. Drew McIntyre looks really good. Does some good talky talk. Reigns has this heel thing down. He just takes his time with everything. Sort of establishes his dominance. Paul was wrong. I was right. All this kind of stuff. Patronizes Drew by saying you're always going to be my favorite, like, minor champion. Really good. It actually makes me want to see this match. I'm interested in what they're going to do with it. Then we hype up Rollins versus Murphy, as they should. They show what happened before. They show highlights from last Friday's No Hold Barred match, won by Mysterio. So Seth Rollins, he's out. He's supposedly going to take a break for a while. It's probably for the best. I guess he's just putting everybody over on the way out the door. So out comes Seth Rollins, and we go to commercial. Jesus. And then Murphy comes with Aliyah Mysterio. They embrace. But Rey Mysterio and Dominic are with them. They have a really good match. There's just no other way to say it. It's just really good. And Murphy wins. And it's just this really great moment. And that should have been the, why wasn't that the fucking main event? Jesus. All right. Well, is what it is. We go back there and Sasha Banks is there. And then we got more nonsense with Survivor Series stuff. And Banks, they highlight how Banks took Asuka's title earlier in the year. Banks agrees. Asuka rants and says Banks isn't the boss of her. It's good stuff between these two. And then this Carmella thing where she attacks Banks. God, shit, it's so bad. Spoils the thing. It is what it is. Kayla's with a Jey Uso backstage. And says, unless you're not allowed to talk to me. But Jay's like, no, I can talk to you. It's great. The push or pull thing with the influence and control that Roman Reigns has. It's really good. We get Daniel Bryan versus Jey Uso, which is great. Match is very, very good, as one might expect. Daniel Bryan wins, as he should, if he's going to be set up for the next person to take on Roman Reigns. And so it goes. Good stuff. But again, none of this did anything for Survivor Series, really. But it is what it is. Again, probably not the best SmackDown to come in on, but I'm looking forward to watching this and see how it develops, especially with the Roman Reigns stuff. And where do they go with the Murphy stuff from here, now that Seth Rollins is apparently going to be gone? We're going to have to wait and see, but boy, it is evident that the lion's share of the talent, especially on the women's end, is definitely on SmackDown. So Survivor Series is coming up, and I'm going to take that one on too. This has been Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling, with Platinum versus SmackDown.